Hello and welcome to the second video of the QA basics. So today we are going to see another important section. So you guys might have guessed the topic. It is going to be what is testing. So this is an important section when it comes to quality assurance, an important part where we should focus more to gain a good knowledge. So let's get started with what is testing. Think of a situation where you are going to use a buggy app or a broken website. Think how you will feel. You will exactly feel like the man in the video is behaving. You will be distressed and you will be really stressful and disappointed towards the client or the system you're using. So you will be thinking, how can a solution come to this? Like can a Superman come and save you? Yes, a Superman is going to come and say like this in the name of testing. So testing comes crucial in this particular section to save you guys from these buggy apps and broken websites. So now the question arises as what is testing? So with the explanation given with a link to Superman in the previous slide gives you an idea what exactly could be testing. But to make it more simpler and to make you easily understand, I have given a very simplified definition for testing, that is checking if the software works right. A simple and an easy definition to understand testing. So the role of a tester in this particular QA field is to check the software whether it's meeting the requirements and it doesn't have any bugs or defects in the system and it's working completely properly. So now you get an idea what is testing in the very basic level. And you might think, why is this testing important? Shall we give it a search? All right, let's give it a search and the results is do. There you go. So you have got three answers why it is important. There are several factors, but I have to make it more interesting and more efficient, I have broken into three major importance of this testing. So if you see the very first one, it saves time, and the second one is about saves money, and the third one is about saves the reputation. So how all these are going to save you? Let's take an assumption and you think that you're developing a software and you are not testing that software and you have launched it and the customers are using it. While they're using it, they are encountering many problems and they're calling to the company and they're telling that there are many problems. What have you done? What was the mistake? And likewise. So now the development team has to redo their work again. They have to allocate the time again. They have to allocate the money. So plenty of resources have to go and they have to redo the work because they didn't test. And that's not only the thing, also the reputation. The IT industry is a really competitive market and the reputation is really high. You have to maintain it to catch up the customers and the market. So if your reputation is affected because of this small thing without testing, then think how much impact is going to be. So what now you will understand, testing is not a small thing. It's going to be an impactful, a major section in the software development life cycle. Now let's see a real life testing example to make it more practically connected to the testing concept. Assume that you're having a car and before you're going to take the car and drive, what will you do? You will going to check the car's brakes, the car's tires, the oil, the air, all the conditions are imperfect so that you can take the car and hit the road. Or else thing or situation, if you are not testing all these and if you're taking the car and going, and in some cases, you might feel that your oil is lacking and you have to stop in the part of the way. Likewise, the testing applies to the software also. Before you release or before you go to the road, like the car, before you are releasing it to the real customers, you're going to check that the software is meet all the requirements that have been. Like checking the brakes and tires, you're going to check against the requirements. And if all the things are positive, then you're good to go. Like the car you're taking to the road, your software is good to go and you will launch the product. So now I guess you have got a clear idea on what is testing and you have related it to a real world example that might give you a good explanation. Let's move on. All right. Now comes the section, who can do the testings? We all know the very first answer is going to be QA engineers. Absolutely, that's correct. They are really important in doing testing. So now your question is, aren't there any other people who can do the testing? There are several people who can do testing. Let's list it down. Then who can be the second one who can do testing? Can you give it a guess? Yes, your guessings are right. If your guessing is developers, absolutely that is correct. Developers are also possible parties who can do the testing to the developed software and give a report and they can go ahead elsewhere. And there's another one who is really important person in this system development lifecycle is the business analyst. So they are also the people who can do the testing and give you an assumption. And finally, the last but not least, but this man is really, really important when it comes to testing all the system development, like say all the software, because you are going to develop all these things for this guy. So the end users, so they are also really important, and they also can do testings in the name of user acceptance testings, which you will see on the later part of our videos. We have cleared some things like what is testing and the test who can do the testings. Now the question is, how can you do a testing? What are the ways you can do this? Generally, now we have two ways of doing the testing. One is manual, the one is automation. The first one, let's take the manual testing. What is that? Here we go. Manual testing is done by a human, step by step, just clicking through the apps, navigating to the pages like a real person. Like, what do you do? We will do like that. That is in manual testing, but it takes time compared to the automation. So to make ease of time and to make the resources more efficient, we are moving to the automation part. That is the automation testing. Here, what we are going to do is we are going to use languages like Java, Python to write codes. If you take a web page, you're going to write a code in Java and you are going to use Selenium and you will check it and that will automate to you instead of humans action. So it's going to reduce the human interventions and it will be more efficient and time consuming compared to the manual testing. So that has been a long video and we have seen what is testing and how the testing can be done, who can do the testings. Now there's another important section that we should learn, but instead of putting it into one slam, I thought of breaking it and giving to you as separate videos. So what could be the next video? Some might have guessed it. Types of testing, another important section under the concept of testing we are going to see. So get ready to see that part very soon. Before that, if you have any doubts or feedbacks that you would suggest, please drop it to the comment box and I will be replying and I will be following to those things. So get ready to watch the types of testing, which is another interesting section. Your constituents. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this content, just subscribe it and give a bell icon. See you all on next video with type testing. Thank you.